The Women's Prize for Fiction is announced on Wednesday. There are 6 very impressive novels on the shortlist. Let's review them and predict a winner. The Bread the Devil Knead. Lisa, Allen-Agostini. This is a Caribbean novel about abuse and domestic violence. It's also about how childhood shapes us as an adult, about family, faith, independence, womanhood. There is so much in this novel. But Althea's violent relationship with Leo is really what stands out to me. The way Allen-Agostini creates tension between her characters is just masterful. You're never really sure what will set Leo off.
What is that outrageous thing on your face?
They're my glasses?
No, not the glasses. That ferret's backside on your upper lip.
As the reader, you don't know what Leo you're getting. Is he going to be nice? Or is he going to damn near kill Althea?
That's my mustache. Men can wear mustaches on their face. What's your excuse?
Firstly, women can have mustaches. It's just that we know when we look like the wrong side of a roadkill dinner. And I don't mean the Brussels sprouts. Secondly, I'm living my rock star fantasy.
Well, you look like somebody took a walrus to the dentist and then put a wig on it.
You really do get the sense of Althea being trapped. There's a real tension in the plot. You see men killing the women in their lives, and you feel like this is a ticking time bomb for Althea. You feel like Leo will definitely kill her if she doesn't leave. But Althea feels stuck. She's not leaving. You almost want to reach inside this book and ask Althea, why are you still with Leo?
I don't want to live alone.
But baby, can't you see?
I've got to break free.
This is a book that stays with you, and unlike this review, it gets better the more you think about it. This book is still a little under the radar, and as a result, I don't think anybody's thinking that it will win the Women's Prize. But I think it's a wonderful novel, and I think it would be a really popular upset winner if that were to happen. The Sentence by Louise Erdich. An Indigenous lady gets arrested for body snatching, goes to jail, gets released, and gets a job working at the bookshop owned by the author. That's a little self-indulgent, but it's a book.
What does this say? Black Lives Matter?
Well, of course they do, but what's that got to do with a ghost? I guess our protagonist does marry her arresting officer, but it feels a little COVID-19? That seems irrelevant and contrived. The kitchen sink? Where are these even coming from? Avocado toast? I'm not doing a shower scene again. They're not as popular as people think. This novel is a bit messy, but I actually enjoyed it. But I don't think it's in the same class as the other 5 books so far. So my odds of this book winning is no chance. Careless by Kirsty. A complex story about Bess, a 15-year-old foster child who is unexpectedly pregnant. Bess must navigate through a really complex choice about her body, while trying to reconcile the trauma of feeling unwanted herself. Will her baby be unwanted? She has a controlling foster mother, is in love for the first time, and has a never-say-die relationship with Ishal, the well-off child of Southeast Asian immigrants who suffers from her own feelings of being unwanted, but for very different reasons. This novel is nothing short of brilliant, and it didn't make the shortlist. Are you sure? What? Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it didn't make the shortlist. Did the judges actually read this book? This would have been a worthy winner of the prize. Wonderful characters, engaging plot, thought-provoking themes, great setting, effective and efficient writing, and a book which did something really new with an old idea. I rate this book's chances of winning the Women's Prize as reasonably high if only the judges can reconcile that terrible mistake they made. Elif Shafak, The Island of Missing Trees. Go on, you can do this. I know. Talking to the camera can be nerve-wracking, but I believe in you. You know, they say, never work with children or fig trees. Where did Shafak even find that talking fig tree to narrate her work?
Cyprus.
Greek or Cypriot?
It's ambiguous. What even is a border?
Yeah, I guess that's the point of the book. Love doesn't see borders, whether it's romantic, familial, or dendrophilic.
Just so you know, I'm not into that. It's really creepy.
Holy shit, a talking tree! This book has a bit of everything. There's 2 timelines, a war, a romance, a girl dealing with bullying, immigration, and second-generation immigrants dealing with their sense of cultural identity and belonging, and an auntie who says weird cliches. You know, fig trees, families, they're very similar. If you're burying them in your front yard at Christmas time, you're doing it wrong. It's complex and it's a really good book. The fig tree, however, is a little too metaphorical, slightly weird and pretty much unnecessary. But where this book really falls down is the same place that a few other books on this shortlist fall down. Elif Shafak has a large body of work. Most of it is of an excellent standard, and this is just nowhere near her best book. It's good, but it's just another Elif Shafak book, and that's why I think this book is unlikely to win. Great Circle, Maggie Shipstead.
600 pages is not the 1,000-page bulky novel that this book was initially planned to be. Nonetheless, you do wonder if it's carrying a bit of excess weight. Don't mind that. That's just a chair. It's essential to the storyline.
Wait, are you just cutting and pasting bits of your Booker Prize video into your Woman's Prize video? Nobody would have noticed if you didn't point it out. It's Great Circle. Do we need another review of it? Historical fiction, planes, Antarctica, twin brother, actress. Lots of pages. Basically, everybody on BookTube has read this book and liked it. There's nothing unique left to say. Some guy even did a review with like this weird dance and an apricot. Do you think an eggplant will do? Nah, Great Aubergine is a completely different sort of book. It would be a popular and uncontroversial winner. And I do think it's a very good novel. One of which I certainly can't rule out winning. If you've not read it, buy it the next time you're in a bookshop. Do I think it's the best book on the shortlist? No, I don't. Will this one win the prize? Maybe. This year the Woman's Prize is highlighting a really yuck statistic that only 19% of the readers of best-selling novels written by female authors are men. In contrast to this, 55% of the audience of books written by best-selling male authors are men. It's a bit of a disparity, guys. We can do better. I think it's a real tragedy, to be honest, because I read the Women's Prize every year for the most selfish of reasons. There's some really good books on it. I love the collection that is a Women's Prize long list every year. It is honestly one of the absolute highlights of my reading year. So why wouldn't you? The Women's Prize is asking men to highlight books that they love, that are written by women. Here's a Women's Prize long list worth of novels that are written by women that I unreservedly recommend. Books that I absolutely love. Assembly by Natasha Brown. Tender as the Flesh, Augustine Belaritska. Kindred, Octavia Butler. Daryl, Jackie S. Valley of the Dolls, Jacqueline Susan. Middlemarch, George Eliot. The Vegetarian, Han Kang. Earthlings, Sayaka Murata. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, Gail Honeyman. Freshwater, Akwaiki Amazi. Saltwater, Jessica Andrews. The Past is Red, Catherine Valente. Hamnet, Maggie O'Farrell. The Girl with the Louding Voice, Abby Dari. Luster, Raven Lolani. Before My Actual Heart Breaks, Tish Delaney. The Book of Form and Emptiness.
Hey,
What? I swear, is this another talking eggplant?
over here.
A talking book? Sorry, I've already filmed with a talking tree today.
But I've got magical powers.
What's your magical power?
I can predict your past.
No way! That would make you a great storyteller.
Yeah, I'm a book.
Wait, there's lots of books around me. Can they all talk? I think it pissed
When
God
Aaron
off
Hill
what love is,
colour purple
or
and
it
angled
yields
somewhere
thin love.
and didn't ain't
Shut up,
love
shut
at
up,
all.
shut up, shut up, shut up.
This book tackles the mental illness of a mother and her son. It also tackles grief in an interrelated way. I really love how Ozeki's writing is able to capture the madness of Benny, the voices in his head that he feels and how out of control that makes him feel. I felt mentally battered just reading about it. It was so effective at getting me inside Benny's head. However, what Ruth Ozeki does with Benny's mother, Annabelle, is potentially even more brilliant. Not just wonderful writing, but wonderful insight as well. Annabelle has lost her husband, Benny's father, and we can see that grief move into hoarding and the inability to accept the reality of her situation. It's a kind of mental illness and anxiety that I think a lot of us can relate to. It's sort of almost an everyday mental illness, certainly in comparison to Benny's voices. And it's the understanding about how everyday stresses affect Annabelle's mental illness. In some gloriously socialist countries, those on the streets and homeless are given a free house. And those homeless people suffering from mental illness have been shown to either instantly recover from mental illness or need less treatment to recover because they have secure housing. It's something that Ozeki really gets, the interaction between the social and the mental. There's a lot in this novel, and honestly, Ozeki's ability to get inside the head of Benny and Annabelle is second to none. And while that does connect you with the characters, that can not always be the most fun to read depending on what you enjoy as a reader. I find this book very hard to rate because while it's an absolute masterclass of a novel, so too is everything Ruth Ozeki writes. This is definitely good enough to win the prize. It is better than the 4 novels I've already reviewed, but will it be better than the last one? Sorrow and Bliss, Meg Mason. Martha is 40, successful, loaded, and has a husband, Patrick, who cooks, cleans, and absolutely adores her. But after her 40th birthday party, Patrick leaves her. This book starts at the end and then recaps Martha's life. Everything is broken, messed up, and completely fine. That's what life is. It's only the ratios that change. Initially, you think this novel is about the disillusionment with society and the people in it. That it really taps into a Sally Rooney style of millennial fiction that is so popular these days. And it does. But it's so much more than that. It really respects that genre and moves on and adds to it. It's the creation of Martha, a woman who is so easy to like and adore, but so easy to get frustrated and angry at. Mason has pulled off something remarkable here. I absolutely see why Patrick fell in love with her and why he left her. My favourite quote in this whole novel is, "Martha, why did you label every single box miscellaneous?" There is humour in this book. As humans, it's really natural for us to seek out moments when we laugh and to share those moments. In fact, humour and intentionally making one another laugh may be the only thing left that separates us from animals. And in a book that contains so much hardship and grief, but is essentially about everyday life, the humour is important. After all, it's sorrow and bliss, not sorrow and grief. I think the humour is so important for the reader's experience. It really counteracts the mental illness. Unless I inform you otherwise, at intervals throughout my 20s and most of my 30s, I was depressed mildly, moderately, severely, for a week, 2 weeks, half a year, all of one. Mental illness is such a big theme in this novel. Actually, it's a common theme in all 6 novels on the shortlist. But this novel is not just about mental illness. It's about diagnosis. It's about the importance of putting a name on something, which is why editing Scott can sort his shit out right now. I think this book is something absolutely remarkable, something special. But will it win, or will the Book of Form and Emptiness take it? Honestly, both these books would be more than a worthy winner. The writing in both these books is brilliant, and they tackle this theme that is so central to all of these novels. It would seem weird if one of these two didn't win because this theme is so prevalent. But does one do it better? It's a really hard call to make because they both do it so differently. But there is only one book that I've been subtly reviewing this entire video. So the book I'm predicting to win the Woman's Prize for Fiction 2022 is Meg Mason's Sorrow and Bliss. The winner is announced on Wednesday. If you would like to see how my predictions have gone in the past, click here to see my review of last year's Woman's Prize. Complete with shower scene. What book do you think will win? What books have you read? What books have you liked? Do you think Careless was robbed? Was Careless robbed? Careless was robbed, yeah. Let me know in the comments.